Hello and welcome back to the Perth to Paisley Podcast, episode number 225. The top two at the time of the game kicking off took place at Tynecastle and it finished two each. But by the end of the game, it was not the top two. There's a lot to talk about from this game. A very, very eventful game as Hearts drew two each with Celtic. So to cover it and everything else that's happened in the last week, as ever, I'm Daniel McIver, joined by Adam Kennedy. Adam, have you caught your breath back for that game?
I think so. This is a really interesting episode this week because in terms of the game, I'm really in two minds. I feel slightly aggrieved that Hearts didn't win. I feel pleased that we didn't lose, but I think what's becoming evident is that the pressure is beginning to ramp up. Yeah. So that's interesting. That's fun. That's exciting. But it's also nerve shredding. How are you feeling?
Yeah, pretty much the same. I'm also choked with a cold, so apologies, folks, if I'm coughing, spluttering, or just sound a wee bit different. I'm not just head in my hands, terrified of what's to come for the next 15 games, but a part of me absolutely is. However, before we talk about everything that happened on Sunday, before we speak about even around the grounds that we normally do, there's actually a bit of business that happened before all that. And it's a very exciting bit of business
That we
because,
didn't account for.
yes, that we did not account for at all. So basically, Hearts very quickly realised after the injuries to Cammy Devlin and the suspensions to Benny Beningame that the current midfield situation was not tangible for the rest of this season. So, in a move that has a wee bit of emotion to it, which is often not the way of Jamestown. Jamestown is often quite sterile, academic, analytical. However, this time we've brought back an academy graduate because Marc Leonard has returned to Tynecastle since for the first time since 2018, 8 years ago. The man who signed a professional contract with the club on the same day as Harry Cochrane, however, was very quickly bought by, ironically, Tony Bloom's Brighton. Had a couple of loan spells in the English lower leagues, then was bought by Birmingham City, has arrived on a 6 month, 5 month, whatever you want to call it, loan deal until the end of the season. I will just read what the Hearts website says. Heart Melonians is delighted to confirm the loan signing of Marc Leonard from Birmingham City. The 24-year-old joins the Jambos from the English Championship side until the end of the season. Central midfielder Marc is no stranger to Gorgie, having spent his formative years in the Hearts Academy. He made a move to Brighton and Hove Albion in 2018. He made his first team debut for the Seagulls in 2021. Season 22-23 saw Marc head out on loan to Northampton Town, where he helped the Cobblers to a third place finish in League Two, and with it, promotion to League One through the playoffs. The following season saw him return to Northampton on loan, and he picked up where he left off, collecting both the Fans Player of the Year and Players Player of the Year award as Northampton consolidated their League One status. Those performances then earned Marc a move to Birmingham City. He would go on to feature in nearly every single game in what was a title-winning campaign for the Blues as they lifted the 2024 League One trophy. This season, Marc has already turned out 17 times in the Birmingham shirt. He now returns home to Gorgie to reinforce the Jam Tart squad in a crucial period of the season. Now, before it was announced, I'd heard about it like 5 hours before. It seemed that like a lot of people suddenly heard about it, and then it was like, yep, it's happening. How did you feel when you heard about this? I'll be totally honest. All I knew about Marc Leonard was I remembered how much hype he had around him when he left us.
Yeah, I'm exactly the same. He was kind of one of those that was seen as like the next that was going to break through, kind of on the periphery, which then was admittedly something of a worry for me because I don't think that our track record with youth is particularly great. Um, but it's an interesting one because obviously he'd signed for Brighton, as you say, so they have to have seen something. Tony Bloom being the genius that he is. But when Birmingham had announced it, I actually tagged Gab Sutton, who's an EFL expert, and he's somebody that I listen to on a variety of kind of betting podcasts and other kind of media features. And he is a Birmingham fan, so I asked him his thoughts. And he came back to me on Twitter saying, "Quality footballer, Adam. Before he joined us, I actually saw him play for Northampton and saw him hit an amazing diagonal on the half volley. Left me in shock. If you can find the 90 minutes of their home league game against Leyton Orient in 23-24, you can see it." So if he's got Gab's seal of approval, that was encouraging for me. And admittedly, I thought that his debut was a bit of a shaky start, as we'll get into. But as he grew into the game, we grew into the game. So I think then he blossomed into one of the best players on the pitch, remarkably. So that is encouraging. And I also think that we'd be kind of, say we, I'd be one of the first to slew the Hearts board for not acting upon, that I don't want to say the crisis that we've been left, but kind of the position of weakness that we find ourselves in. This is very much a rallying cry from the Hearts hierarchy to say, okay, we're in a fantastic position. What an opportunity we have here. Derek McInnes, if you need some help, let's act upon it. Let's go around the houses, try and find contacts, and try and get somebody in the building. So I think the club deserve a bit of praise for acting quickly upon it. Once we realised the kind of severity of Cammy Devlin's injury. And if his debu's anything to go by, it looks like he'll be a really solid addition. So I'm pretty pleased. It seems like he's carved out quite the career for himself in the English lower leagues as a professional. Just goes to show, like, sometimes you just got to get round the houses, but as long as you get to where you're going, then all's good.
I saw the main thing for me was the kind of, as you say, the reaction from Northampton and Birmingham fans when the move was announced. I saw a Northampton podcast say he would probably be in their best ever 11.
Wow.
Is in one of the centre mid spots. I'm not going to pretend to know the history of Northampton to know if that's impressive or not, but I would say someone who's only been there for 2 years, maybe, who knows. But perhaps a more telling reaction was that in large, it seemed that Birmingham fans were pretty gutted he was going. They kind of seemingly seemed to want him at least around in the squad for the season.
Seems like it's quite the coup. I mean, I think their midfield's well stacked by the boy Iwata, who couldn't break in at Celtic, bizarrely. I think
there's another guy who
Pike,
they brought in this him, and that seems to be the discussion about like who's better.
That's kind of keeping him out of the team, so to speak. So, an interesting one. I mean, he obviously knows about Hearts, but I'd like to think Alex Cochrane maybe put a word in his ear as well, or I don't know. Like, I miss that guy. But yeah, it's I think it's a no-brainer, and he's got to get games. He might look at it and think, if I could impress at Hearts, dare I say it, but could he be on the plane to USA, Canada, Mexico?
Every Scottish player will be having that in their heads.
100%. So I think it makes sense for us, makes sense for him, and it's quite a nice but bizarre homecoming.
Yeah, absolutely. But before we can speak about the game that Marc Leonard made his debut in, we do have to go around the grounds. A lot of stuff happened this weekend.
I'll tell you what, like, I'm not usually one for sports scene. I've slagged off the programme on here week upon week. I don't think that it showcases our game in the best light. But even I had to tune into sports scene this week, the entirety of Saturdays, which was mental and brilliant. And then obviously Sundays involving us, and that was less entertaining. But the Saturday games, I mean, Jesus, where do you want to start? Because you could start at any of the three, really.
Well, I'll start with the one that didn't happen because, Tannadice is underwater, and it means that there's a massive chance our game already may not take place.
Do you think that's a bad thing?
Yeah.
Do you? You just want the games to come?
I just think it's bad if we have any form of not continuing this momentum.
Okay.
Because Rangers are going to win, so that we'll have in our head they're now a point behind us.
I'm just intrigued, that's all, because there is a part of me that thinks that the way that you do, then there's also a part of me that thinks that we've got to go to St Mirren and Paisley on the Tuesday. We wouldn't have a game the following weekend anyway. I don't know. I
know what you mean.
I know what you mean. Minds, but I think the position that we're in, we want the points on the board, don't we?
Yeah, absolutely. However, the 3 games that did take place definitely did not disappoint, because
No, they did not.
the first game we'll go to is the least amount of goals, and there's still 4 of them, because Motherwell just continued this train of never mind dropping points at Fir Park, just never conceding goals at Fir Park as they ran out 4-0 victors over 10-man Kilmarnock, and that Neil McCann appointment is just not looking very good at all. Aberdeen, in a mad game with 2 red cards, 8 goals, ran out 6-2 victors against bottom of the table Livingston.
Another one in the dugouts. You said 2 red cards, but I mean technically
of
3.
Of course, sorry, it was technically 3. And then, probably the most insane result of the 3, but maybe not if you'd listen to my pre-season predictions, is that Falkirk just apparently are the Edinburgh Killers, fresh off the back of knocking us at the Scottish Cup, took David Gray's Hibernian to the sword and ran out comfortable 4-1 victors in a game that could have been 6-1 if you look at some of the chances that they missed. Then on the Sunday, there's our game, obviously, that we'll speak about. And shockingly, the least exciting game still featured 3 goals as Rangers won 3-0 against Dundee at Ibrox. Sadly, Stephen Pressley couldn't replicate the earlier season point that he got there. What do you make of those games?
Oof. Where on earth do you start with that? Let's go chronologically in the kind of order you said it. Motherwell are just the greatest team on the globe.
Yeah.
Had they not got off to their kind of ropey start, they might even be right down our necks. So just a really good outfit. And some of the goals, I mean, Elijah Just's first is magnificent. Tawanda Maswinise's volley isn't too bad either, mind you. Annoying because, again, backed him first goal scorer, as I tend to do these days.
God, you had a nightmare with that this weekend. We'll get into that.
I really did. I could have been licking my lips. It's second goal scorers now that just, oh, you bastards. But yes, that was annoying. Kelly, you said about kind of Motherwell's clean sheets. I'm not so sure that Kilmarnock's goal should have been disallowed. I've watched it back a couple of times and I'm a wee bit skeptical.
I know what you mean.
I think Fir Park's got a history of this because of the camera angles. You can't, like, it's not dead on, so you can't then see. It's always kind of off to the side. It's weird. So had Motherwell's defence been breached for the first time in forever, then it might have transpired into a different game. That being said, 2 daft challenges from Kilmarnock midfielder Tom Lowry. Just don't know what he's thinking. Particularly the second, when you're on a booking, is just blasphemy. Kelly are rotten. Thankfully, Livingston look even worse, as despite going 1-0 down to then 2-1 up, which was both baffling and hilarious. Just a second half capitulation, which saw Davy Martindale, Jack Milne, and Jeremy Bakila, was it?
Yeah.
All sent off. Crazy, nuts, bonkers. I don't even know where to begin talking about that game. But the best of the lot was at the Falkirk Stadium, where I spoke about great team goals at Fir Park, arguably even better ones in Falkirk, and a hat-trick. A Bairns hat-trick in the top tier for the first time, I think, since 2007. Did I read that?
Jeez.
Which is just insane.
See the stat there? It's like half of the last hat-tricks in the league have come against Hibs.
Also fantastic. Yeah, because it was the first in the top flight since Igamani for Rangers at Easter Road. Was that right?
Yeah.
For each. Brilliant, wasn't it? I mean, fantastic. Even the own goal is just like great.
So funny.
So good. I am kind of a bit nervous for David Gray's job. I think this could be the beginning of the end. I don't know. I'm torn a wee bit. And Rangers won, which again was really annoying. Could have done with Dundee repeating their heroics, as you say. Unfortunate not to leave with a point. I think they're winless in 20 games at Ibrox now. Not since like the early 2000s, so nothing new, I suppose, even though Elvis and the boys gave it their best. But Rangers were uninspiring, but grinding out results.
They're getting the job done.
That's just what we've got to put up with, isn't it? So, yeah, mad weekend. And yeah, tuned into the sports scene the first time forever to catch all the action, and I still don't think I could speak all about it because it was just insane.
Yeah. Well, our game was certainly not short of talking points. The first one being
The
5
team.
changes
Yeah.
in Derek McInnes's starting lineup. So he lined up in a 4-4-2. Obviously, players like Benny, Shankland were either suspended or hurt. Devlin obviously missed the Falkirk game, but from the league was in against St Mirren. So immediately there's a big change because Craig Gordon back in goals ahead of Alexander Swallow. A back four of Jamie McCart at left back, Captain Craig Halkett and Stuart Finlay as the two centre halves. Jordi Altena dropped to the bench for Michael Steinwender. A midfield two of Thomas Magnuson and making his debut for the club, wearing his academy number, which I quite liked, Marc
Didn't know
Leonard
that.
in 49. Left mid, Alexandros Kazarides. Right mid, Harry Milne. We're doing that again. And a strike partnership of Claudio Braga and Landry Cabore. Now, I'll be honest, I was not confident at all after seeing that team. What about you?
That makes two of us. I think the headline was kind of the back five, if you could call it that.
Yeah.
I'm very surprised to see Alexander Swallow drop out for Craig Gordon. Um, Equally surprised and terrified to see the fullback duo of Jamie McCart and Michael Steinwender. Initially, I thought it was a back three. I thought, oh Christ, like that is just so negative. But then I couldn't work out who was playing
Who's
where
where?
in terms of like the then other six players that you'd have
Yeah.
sorry, five players that you'd have in offensive areas. So that was interesting. A wee bit mental maths and a wee bit of kind of
Yep.
waiting for Heart Standard to clarify
Yep.
who's playing where and whatever.
But even then, Heart Standard
Um,
has us down as a 4-2-3-1. It wasn't
so
even that.
so there you go. Yeah, it was an interesting and an eyebrow raising team selection. I think it's fair to say, and one that was yeah, I was really concerned about the wide areas because I just thought Daisen Maeda and Hyunjun Yang running at Jamie McCart and Michael Steinwender. It could be a long afternoon if we're not on it. Thankfully, although one of those did score, the other was miles off it. And I don't know, like Celtic have obviously spent money on players throughout their side, but you look at it and it's not a vintage Celtic side
No.
by any
I think it's
stretch.
the worst Celtic side I've ever seen.
I
What I mean by that is, I don't necessarily mean this specific lineup. I mean this squad.
just as a collective, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I probably would go along with that, would agree with that. Which is then kind of it's weird. Obviously, I'm not overly optimistic heading into the game, but then afterwards, I'm just left a tad disappointed because I think were they there for the taking? Like
Yeah.
they weren't good by any manner or means, as we'll come on to throughout the game. But yeah, do you know? I think the last couple of games at Tynecastle, the St Mirren game and the Celtic game, we've got a real usage out of the squad. League
Yeah.
games, that is, obviously, with
Yeah.
Falkirk and the cup sandwich in between. We've got a real usage out of the squad, and there's players that you kind of forget about that have come in, haven't really put a foot wrong, or kind of given their best and still been effective, which is ultimately what it's about, because it's a squad game. I think that's why people that are expecting us to fall away, that's kind of their main argument, isn't it? That we
Yeah.
don't necessarily have the squad. We've got a strong first 11, but when we're turning to people on the bench and whatever, they're not quite at that same level. Now, that might prove the case in later matches, but here, if you'd have said to me, oh, which teams without three of their key players and three of their main starters throughout the season, I would have said Celtic more than us. And they'll make the argument that they are. What I mean is just that ours are more kind of important to us.
Yeah.
Celtic should have the luxury to go without three starters given the financial footing that they're on, the like for like replacements and what have you, but they don't. And that's no fault of ours and, you know, Martin O'Neill's. It's just the hand that he's been dealt. So it was, an interesting team and an interesting 90 minutes. I don't think it was a classic contest, but I say that. There's 4 goals, a heck of a lot of drama, and yeah, a sending off, and I think three-quarters of the ground left going, we'd have taken that pre-match, but not necessarily post.
Another point to speak about the lineup was the bench, because there was, that 2 stars and a wish you used to get in school.
Yes.
So the 2 stars were the two centre mids were back. Aju and McEntee both returned to the bench, with, prior to the game, McInnes basically confirming that Magnuson had passed a very late fitness test to play, so McEntee will feature at some point, which thankfully he did. But the wish in question is that there was no Islam Chesnikov. And after the game, it was pretty much confirmed by McInnes that we're going to put him on like a hyper mini pre-season, because you raised the point last week how he looked shattered against Falkirk in the cup when he came on. And McInnes said that they just didn't really fully anticipate how far off he would be the speed of the game. Now, I think if I'm right in saying, before the Falkirk game, his last game of football was the 3rd of November. So
Jesus.
he was nearly 2.5 months since playing a game. That might be wrong, but it's around that. So the plan is to hopefully have him involved for this game at the weekend. But it's still disappointing, because I think a lot of Hearts fans were thinking, right, okay, we've got Chesnikov in, we've got him for Celtic, and then he's not even in the squad. But McEntee and Aju are back.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice to see that Aju is not a myth. I was getting close to kind of putting him in the Cal Neuenhoff camp. Again, McEntee's just one of them where he can do a job.
I love him so much. I love
required.
Oisin McEntee with all my heart.
I love his physical presence in the middle of the pitch, but equally, if he's stuck at right back because Mikey Steinvender's having a nuke, then I'm fine with that. Yeah, just a dependable, and again, a real squad player in terms of, I don't think he's a nailed-on starter in any position, really. I just think that he could cover a variety of positions. Yeah, a utility player, but a good one at that, and a physical presence. He's not slow, can play, just covers just about every base. So yeah, nice to see the midfielders. With regards Chesnikov, I'm not going to try and claim that I told people so, but like the fact that everybody's getting so excited, it's like, let's just relax a wee bit. It does reek a little bit of David Vanacek.
Vanacekitis, I saw somebody say.
Yeah, it does. Like the clamour and kind of people looking for updates. You had people looking for his flights.
Yeah.
Like
when you're on Flight Tracker, it's a bad sign.
I can remember when David Vanacek was banging them in for whatever club that he signed for us from, and everybody's like dead excited because they think, oh my god, this guy's going to light up the league, he's going to be amazing, going to be our top scorer, this, that, and the other. And then his shorts were enormous. I just remember looking at his
basketball shorts.
Fucking huge. I was looking at Islam Chesnikov place his hands on his knees and going, oh my goodness gracious me, we've signed his brother, or there's been some kind of mix up internationally whereby I don't know. I just think we just need to taper expectations, and I know that we're desperate for reinforcements in his area. I would argue that we're not, because of one player that comes in and does
that we will
really
definitely speak about the day.
That does really well. And again, another good cameo here. Let's just all relax, drink a Stella. It'll make you feel better. Let's just all calm down.
Well, we got off to the worst possible start, because 5 minutes in, Celtic swinging a corner, and it's a completely free header met by Liam Scales, but thankfully it's straight at Craig Gordon. However, 2 minutes later, Celtic win a free kick right on the edge of the box. And for the first time since January 2021, Celtic score a direct free kick, because Benjamin Nygren curls it up and over the wall, past Gordon. It causes a stramash in the Celtic box as I look down from where I'm sitting, and I suddenly see Derek McInnes is in their dugout, throwing hands. Nygren's cupping his hand to his ear to the crowd. It literally could not have started worse.
No, it couldn't. It's a goal that comes from nothing. It's a goal that initially I thought when looking at it up in the stand, should Craig Gordon save that because it looked very central from where I was stood. Um, but then having come home from the game, having seen the highlights on Sky, it's just a phenomenal free kick.
I would like the
Um,
wall to jump more.
that would be nice. But I think the encouraging thing was that that gave Celtic a lift because their fans were obviously nervous heading into this game. It gave Benjamin Negrin some encouragement, but the startling thing for me was that after that he was largely anonymous for the remaining what 80 minutes.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a setback. Um,
As soon as he put the
but
ball down, I turned to my brother and went, "This is going in." By the way,
so
I just knew, I could feel it.
I didn't. I just thought that it would balloon over the bar or would go would go straight into the wall of all places. But yeah, it is mental to me that it's been that long since Celtic last scored from a free kick. Do you know who the last one was
Half a
against?
decade. Us.
No, I saw it was against Hibs.
Oh, was it actually?
Yeah, in the COVID season, David Turnbull. So yeah, I did see that, which did make me chuckle, but not a heck of a lot that we could do. I like Gordon or Swallow. I think both are beaten. I just think it's a really good strike.
That's fair.
So that's it happens. We've seen it with this team, McIver. You don't ever. It's terrible. You obviously feel nervous, but like I'm confident that this team will find a way to get back into the game. I'm
Yeah.
confident that this team will find a way to score. Um, it's whether we can keep it shut at the other end. But it's a setback. I mean, we've seen Celtic score early goals, late goals, all kinds of goals. So it was nothing new. The pleasing thing for me was that they didn't immediately go and grab a second or a quick fire double. It was then they were kind of happy for us to have it, and it was a case of right, well, come on, let's see what you've got.
To be perfectly honest, barring their other goal and one chance in the second half,
No, they
they
didn't do it
didn't
all.
do anything.
No.
Um,
I
11
mean,
minutes in,
does Craig Gordon make another save bar that one from Scales? I don't think he does.
I don't think he does. Nah.
I
He
genuinely can't think
smothers
of
a few
many, if any,
chances,
others.
but
Yeah, but
yeah,
nothing that's kind of come from directly from their effort.
nah. It's just, I want to speak about that at the end, kind of like the general feel of the game because it's wild. But 11 minutes in, a long ball is really well flicked on by Kabori to Braga, who beat Scales, but your shot's quite tame and it's held by Schmeichel. 23rd minute, Kabori lets fly
That
at the edge
that
of the box.
can I just say that Braga chance, as much as it's a tame effort, that that gives the crowd some encouragement
Yeah,
because
it's something, it's a shot on target.
it'd be
It's like,
very
yeah,
easy to kind of fall at the trap and think, oh fucking hell, like these are going to cut the
yeah.
gap to three. Like this is it. I can't believe it. Like just go back into our shells. But uh, the attitude and the application, it was like, no, like that's fine. We'll just outscore you.
Yeah.
Was my kind of feel watching it, and that G's the crowd up because again, like we've spoken about the atmosphere and kind of not the nerves, but the feel of the crowd kind of heading into recent matches. Hearts needed the crowd here, and that like as long as we can see something, I think it's important that the supporters will still stay behind the team.
Yeah.
And this was a half chance. It wasn't Claudio Braga's best effort, but it's a response. Like it's something to go off. We're trying to kind of park the negative stance of the past. Any form of chance, any form of opportunity should be seen as a positive. We're looking to get immediately back into the game. You're for us, or catch you after you be as well just leaving now.
Yeah, absolutely. 33rd minute, Kizzy swings a ball in that is eventually met by Milan in the air, but again, easily held by Schmeichel. However, 2 minutes later, you talked about a half chance for Braga. This is a full and a half chance for Kizaridis.
Oh.
Steinwender sends a long ball forward, but it is completely messed up by Trusty, who we will speak about later on. And it allows Kizaridis in behind, but his effort is saved by the foot of Schmeichel. Now listen, Kizaridis last scored a goal for this club the last time Celtic came to Tynecastle, the day before his son was born. His son
October the
arrived.
26th, my father's birthday, so I'll remember that date.
Yes. His son has arrived and broken Alexandros Kazaridis. Because, yes, I absolutely take the point that even when he's not scoring, he's still involved. He's still trying stuff. He's still doing things. But I am now at the point where I'm like, Kizzy needs time out this team. And I think it will only benefit him because there's two things he could do here. One, it's what I said against Falkirk and St Mirren. Go round the goalie and get brought down and we've got a penalty. And then it's like double jeopardy. Will Schmeichel get sent off? I don't know. Or, more crucially, why are you going near post? Just open your body up and put it past them.
I could not agree anymore. I it's so frustrating because it's right in front of me. And I can see him waiting and anticipating on Austin Trusty making that mistake. And he's read that part incredibly, superbly. He's then got the easier bit to do.
Yep.
And it's just, I could not believe my eyes. It was just one of them where you're just thinking, oh my God, do not let that come back to bite us. Please, please get another chance. Please take said other chance.
Yep.
Um,
Which he gets and doesn't.
Which he gets and doesn't, but somebody bails him out, which is okay. But it's I'm kind of with you. I think he's been off the boil for a good wee while. I seem to only really remember kind of one or two performances since that Celtic game, at best.
Still absolutely adore him, but I just think for his own benefit, with Matto coming in, and it's like, right, get him in and give Kizzy a break.
Undoubtedly, because he sniffs and pounces upon these opportunities. I mean, I think, was it him that latched onto the one against Falkirk? No, St Mirren it was.
Yeah, the St Mirren one where it's almost identical.
It's a carbon copy, pretty much.
Yeah.
Just work on your fucking one-on-ones. He's probably missed it deliberately because that's what he wants to work on in training. That's what I'd do. Fucking right, but how he does not bring us level here, I do not know. Like, he's got to score. But thankfully, because Celtic are largely poor, there was other chances to come. So it was annoying, and it's easy to say now after the event, but there was other chances to come.
Yes, and the first of those chances comes right at the start of the second half, as 48 minutes in, the man who has come in and just decided, I'm taking every single set piece we now have, by the way, Marc Leonard swings in a corner to the back post. It is met by Stuart Finlay, our like joint second top goal scorer, it feels like at this point, who equalises for Hearts. Now, 2 points before we actually get to Finlay. One, I'll be honest, as it happened, I thought it hit the side netting because of the angle I was at, and then was like, oh, hooray.
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised as well.
But secondly, this is probably the best time to speak about Leonard because he's directly involved in this goal. Now, yeah, I would agree with you. I thought his first half was shaky at best. I thought maybe the occasion got to him a wee bit. He did the main thing that sticks in my mind is he fully like fresh air swiped at a ball in the first 15 minutes and it allowed Celtic in. Some of his passing wasn't great, but something happened at half time. I don't know if he just needed 45 minutes to calibrate to Scottish football because he came out at half time and then just started running the game. Now, he definitely isn't Cammy Devlin, but I don't think there's another human being on the planet that is Cammy Devlin. I saw that stat where it was like the most amount of tackles in the league this season, and second had 32, and number one is Cammy with 60. Like, it's just...
Jesus.
It's non-comparable to any other player in the division what Cammy offers you. But considering the level of opponent he faced at the weekend compared to what he's probably going to face for the majority of the season, a very encouraging debut.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I was kind of surprised to then go and see him take that corner. I'm thinking, he can't have been in the building for long. Like, is that something that we've anticipated
He'd
for?
done
like,
one training session on Saturday, and that was it.
But I mean, I can't imagine that. I mean, we might well. I spoke to Celtic in the morning. I featured on Celtic in the morning, and I basically said that set pieces were a massive element of
Yeah.
our game. But I'm thinking, would you dedicate a training session to that if you felt as though it was going to be our best chance to
Well,
score?
we
Like,
did. That's how Kingsley got hurt. Kingsley got hurt with
so,
his groin because we at the end of every week spend our Fridays doing set pieces. That's the whole training.
oh, there you
And
go then.
Kingsley got hurt in his second to last free kick where he
Of course
felt
he
his
did.
groin.
Of course he did. But so maybe then, maybe it is one that's kind of straight off the training ground. Um, Lovely delivery, great header by a centre back that I've been a big fan of for a good few years. So much so that I was undecided as to whether I would back he or Craig Halkett to score the first goal on Sunday, both of which were priced up at 20-1. So I thought, right, well, I had a tenner on Halkett last time, but I don't know. I just think Finlay scored against Rangers, and I don't know, the former club thing again worked for Halkett against Livingston. So I was undecided. I thought, right, I'll split a tenner. I'll go a fiver each. Um, and Stuart Finlay, well, Benjamin Negrin really cost me £105,
Yeah.
but Stuart Finlay tried his best. I was kind of clamouring for Negrin's free kick to be deemed an own goal, so that it could maybe carry over, but unfortunately, Denise Coates and Bet365 don't necessarily see it that way. But there you go.
The only man of a Hearts persuasion in Tynecastle not
I was
fully losing
I
it.
was so conflicted. I was like, yes, I haven't seen it trickle into the net, and then I remember the bet, and I was like, fuck.
I've been there. I've been there several times. I think
Oh,
all football fans
stings.
have, to be honest.
But
Um,
it was more kind of how the emphatic nature of us starting the second half. It was like,
yes.
yes, right, you've got time here. Let's fucking get the pedal to the metal and let's just fucking go.
Ironically, I'd
Foot to the
set
floor.
at half time, and as we were coming back out with no changes, I turned to my brother and was like, regardless of the result, I'll be furious if we don't score against this lot because you
Yeah.
could tell they were shaky. I didn't expect it to be so immediate, but yeah, as you
No.
say, with the amount of chances we were creating, you were like, we should be scoring one of these, and we thankfully did.
And particularly because they played away in Bologna on Thursday night.
Yeah, we've not even mentioned that.
And I watched them on Thursday night. I think Kasper Schmeichel's at fault for both
Yeah.
goals that Bologna score. So again, I think it's been ropey this season. So that was my annoyance that bar the kind of Braga team effort and the one where Kizarida should score, hadn't really put the goalkeeper under any form of pressure. Like I say, it wasn't. It was a decent game to watch as a neutral, I suppose, but it did lack a wee bit of quality.
It was very scrappy.
I think it was scrappy, a bit stop start, kind of fouls, cards, like just it pulling up every couple of seconds. It didn't make for a great watch, but it was an entertaining game, I suppose.
A very big moment in the game, both was realised as it happened, but then I think post match, a lot of people have brought more attention to it because in the 54th minute, Kabore flicks on inside the box, the ball's in the air and drops for Kizzy, who again cannot score from the one-on-one. And I think, as I'm saying, like the first action is everybody realised it in the ground. You're thinking, I don't care how bad they are. You cannot miss the two chances we've missed and expect to win a game for that.
You're just
But
then going to see the net bulge at the other side.
exactly. However, when you then wake up on the Monday and Twitter gets a hold of everything, you see there is a clear foul on Harry Milne by Liam Scales. Ironically, almost identical to the Asgard foul in the semi-final that he got a straight red for and Celtic get a penalty. But it's not even looked at. And Scales then gets in as a result to block his race. How, seeing that back, I didn't notice it in real time, but that's what
Neither did
VR is
I.
for. How is that not a penalty? I'm not saying this should be a red card or anything. How is that not a penalty? If the Asgard one is, how is this one not?
I don't know. Who was on the VAR? Was it not John Beaton on VAR?
John Beaton, aye.
So he's probably getting updates from Ibrox going, can't really give Hearts a pen if my beloved Rangers haven't scored yet. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's maybe his stance. I don't know.
But anyway, Kizzy.
Baffling. Got to score
what did he
again.
do?
Fucking hell. Like that just it has to be a Judas. It has to be wanting one-on-ones against Gordon and following training all week. But yeah, I mean, two gilt-edged chances. Were you kind of then going, right, well, I'm happy with your contribution, but off you come.
Yeah, I literally turned to my dad and
somebody
went,
else have a try.
he has to get Kurjota on now. Like, he has to.
Send Harry Milne over to the left and see what happens.
Especially when 5 minutes later, McCart does really well. He finds Kizaridis, who moves into space. He has 4 Hearts players ahead of him, and yet 30 yards from goal, tamely shoots into the gloves of Schmeichel. And again, you're thinking, we cannot allow this to happen. We cannot have this much pressure and not do anything with it. Because literally 48 seconds later, Celtic new boy, right, Kvanskara?
Not bad. No, not bad. I think it's Thomas Chvanchara.
Chvanchara, right.
Is that right?
He hits the bar with a header. And you're thinking...
Go with yours. I see they are calling him Big Tam, so you do whatever you like.
Right. Well, we've got a Big Tam, and he's maybe not better, but I like him more. So, deal with
Wee
that.
Tam.
Yeah. He hits the bar with a header, and you're starting to think, right, okay, here we go.
That's a wake-up call.
And then the ultimate wake-up call happens 90 seconds later as Maeda flicks past Steinwender on the far side for you and me, the near side for the highlights, and finds Big Tam, as Celtic fans are calling him, who drives down the left, busies it across the 6-yard box to an on-rushing Yang. Jamie McCart is trying to get back from fullback, but he can't. And despite all this pressure from the first whistle to the 62nd, Celtic take the lead again. And it was the first time this season that I felt like, oh yeah, this is the norm. This is what happens. Yep, regardless of how well you do, Celtic take their chances.
Find a way, don't they? Like I'd said that we find a way. They I mean, they're notorious for it over years. Just really, really annoying. And again, it comes from the wide areas and it hits down the left-hand side where I thought Daisen Maeda would be a nuisance. Really, really poor.
Yeah, it's terrible.
But instead it's the big fella who looks a handful. He looks quite a daunting prospect to try and get a hold of.
So I actually disagree, and I wanted to speak about this.
I think not in terms of kind of his output. I just think he'll occupy defenders. I think he'll bring others into
fair.
play.
Yeah, that's maybe fair.
I think technically he's not great.
Yeah. So
I just think he's the type that he will create space. It's like if Celtic signed Kevin Kyle from Kilmarnock.
What a damning situation for Celtic being.
I'm not calling him the Kevin Kyle. I'm just saying it's somebody of that profile.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Not necessarily like his goal scoring record isn't great. Was it Mönchengladbach? They were saying
yeah, Mönchengladbach.
Yeah. So he's not prolific over there, and you could kind of see why. He's a typical target man in that he'll just kind of do dirty work and allow others to score. That was my kind of thoughts on him.
Coming out of the game, my dad made a point that I hadn't really thought of, where he was like, normally when Celtic sign a striker or have a striker, you're always there going, shit, right, okay, they're going to do something. But when you actually take your like maroon tinted specs off and you look at it from a neutral perspective, he just kept trying to pin Halkett, and he didn't really do it that often. Obviously, yes, he does well here and gets an assist, but it's one of those assists where it's like, as long as you get the ball across, it doesn't matter. It's getting it. Yeah, exactly. And I do agree with that. And it's more of an indictment of where Celtic are right now. It's like, this is who you're getting in to try and salvage this season.
Well, I mean, the alternative would have been Johnny Kenny, but I see he's injured now as well. So, I mean,
is he injured? Is that why he wasn't in the squad?
I think that's the talk, isn't it? Or Iheanacho, who I don't know,
is also injured
and is bigger than Edinburgh. So
yeah, that is fair.
There's your two alternatives right there.
Yeah, that is fair.
You play Maeda through the middle, and you have your mate
Tenetke, yeah.
Him.
Utter shit. One of the worst footballers I've ever seen play for Celtic. I can't believe he's at them. Unbelievable. I wouldn't have him at us.
I think you could label that a good.
Yeah, that is fair. A good And on performances on the day, Cal McGregor and Dyson Maeda could have been included in it, which is mad. But talking about shit players for Celtic, you're thinking, right, okay, there's 25 minutes left. We need something. And we get something because substitute Sabakar Jota. He plays his first touch of the game.
Hashtag free Sabakir Jota.
We will get to that. His first touch of the game is playing a bending pass around the entire Celtic backline through Ikabore. But Austin Trusty grabs him and pulls him down. The time capsule detonates, basically. I've never seen us so universally just like, well, that's a red card. That is a red card. Every single Hearts fan going, I watched Alexander Schwolo get sent off. I know what happens. I know what actually went on at Dundee. But unbelievably, Stephen McLean, instead of kind of just using his eyes and going, yep, I know what's happening here. I can go into my back pocket. It's all right. Don't you worry. No, he goes into his front pocket and he gets out a yellow card. And I genuinely thought sections of the ground were going to rush the pitch and try and get at him.
That's what I was about to say. You talked about kind of everybody praying for the red card, but then when the yellow was produced, I genuinely heard a collective groan from 75%, if not 80, 85, 90% of the ground, begging for a red card because it had to be. You mentioned Schwolo. Michael Steinwender in the semi-final against Aberdeen, I also think is comparable. If these are both red cards, then that has to be...
Steinwender's probably a better one, actually.
The fact that they deem that a yellow in first glimpse is unbelievable to me. It's astounding. How can you get that wrong? And even then, Celtic have appealed today on the day of recording.
Yep.
And since their appeals have been dismissed because it's a total nonsense.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily that it's a last man, so to speak. It's the wording and the laws of the game. The denial of a goal-scoring opportunity. Well, if that is not denying a goal-scoring opportunity, I know he's miles out, but he's racing through on goal.
And he can take one touch and get into the box.
Exactly. And I see people saying, "Oh, well, he's heading for the corner or he's heading out, towards the byline." Well, you don't just take defenders on straight all the time.
Yeah.
You've got to try and work your way around them. And they're just going to allow you to run straight at them and do a couple of skills, and then all of a sudden you're by them. You've got to vary it and mix it up every now and then. Could not believe just the kind of dismissal and just the audacity from some Celtic fans and people in the media to tell me that that's not a red card. Clear as day.
And that is why I will always stand and be a supporter of VAR. Because VAR was there, thankfully. And as soon as you see McLean go into the monitor, you kind of think, right, okay, justice has been done.
You're then thinking, well, usually they overturn the decisions when they head to the monitor. Don't let this be the exception today.
The day before... in the Premier League in England, there was that ref against Man City who was like, no, I'm not doing it. And I'm like, well, if there's ever a time that it's going to happen against us.
We'll get one example south of the border and we'll be the example north.
But thankfully, no.
Justice has prevailed.
A few things on this. One, obviously I was at the game.
As was I.
Watching the highlights back on Hearts TV, I actually went and just watched, because obviously there was a decent amount of time in between whilst we were checking. So Hearts TV in the highlights package cuts that time. It just goes from the action to McLean going over the monitor. So I went back and watched the replay of the game, which whenever I'm hosting, I normally watch the game back in full anyway. But I made a point to be like, right, I want to see the reaction to that, because I'd seen on Twitter that people were saying, mutual friend of ours, friend of the podcast, the reason this podcast exists, Laurie Dunsire, there was talk of him being very emotional, which is something that he's not. He's a Laurie Dunsire is for my money the best club commentator, because he is very impartial. He's very much someone who calls it as it is. if you have a Hearts TV subscription, do yourself a favour and go back and listen to this. Because Laurie, as is his right, is like, that is a red card and it is inexcusable. It's not been given in real time. From a man who I don't think he'd get annoyed at me saying this, hates VAR, utterly hates VAR, was very thankful it existed. Yeah, exactly. You as well.
Same here, Laurie. I'm in your boat, mate.
Was very thankful it was there, but his point was, how on earth, as you're saying, can McLean give that? I've seen people, by the way, I've seen Chris Boyd today, as we record this, say, I understand why McLean gives it as a yellow, but he's wrong. I don't. He's right behind it.
I can't fathom it. And equally, like, you'd think that the linesman would help out.
Yep.
Like, particularly if Kabore is heading over to the byline, as some are trying to suggest, or out towards the corner. A complete tosh. Had to be a red. Had to be.
However, on the positive side of it, let's speak about the two players involved from a Hearts perspective. Because we've not mentioned Kabore, really, in terms of an important thing. But can I just ask a request from Heart of Midlothian, Gogsy, actually, specifically, can you get him boots that fit? Because I really like Kabore, and I really liked him on Sunday, but I've never seen a player slipping and sliding as much when he's in control of the ball. I do not mean when he's, like, being nudged and he goes down easy, as some players tend to do. I mean someone who is in complete control of himself and the ball, running the ball out of play because he falls over. There was once where he got past Scales in the second half on our far side, and he runs out of play and he punched the ground 5 times out of frustration. Get longer studs.
He's a madman. I didn't think it was his best game.
No.
At the weekend, I'll be honest. I think he's looked much better off the bench.
But I still, he wins a lot of stuff in the air. He gets himself about.
He's a bit like Shvan Chara. He occupies people, and he uses his physique, and he drags us places, and he'll create space for others. Yeah, maybe that's a better comparison to Kevin Kyle.
Yeah, maybe.
Like earlier. But yeah, I don't. There is just a part of me that wants him to go on like a mad scoring spree, because it would just be so much fun to. I'd love to see his celebrations like week to week. And I think it's what the big man deserves. He's worked great, and his ethics is good. So
yeah. However,
it just there is just a small part of him that just needs a wee bit fine tuning.
Yeah.
Him and Kizaridis can do one-on-ones all week, and then we'll batter whoever's in our wake.
Speaking about someone who deserves things, for the love of God, play Saba Kerjota more, Del. If you're listening, please. Because
he won't be. Well,
I know he won't be, of course he
won't.
His
boy might be. I don't know. Hi, Jack, if you are.
Harry Milne, I thought, was man of the match on Sunday, right? I thought Harry Milne was excellent, but he is not a right midfielder. Play Harry Milne at left back and play Saba Kerjota, because I would say in every game he's played, barring one, Kerjota has made us better, look more effective. He himself has
played
looked
a killer
individually.
Pass.
Yep, exactly. The amount of times I'm not even going to mention the Derby assist, because I feel like it's almost doing them a disservice to define him by that. Because look at how many for a chance I'm literally about to mention now. Leonard finds Kerjota, who swings in a great ball in the 84th minute. It drops for Braga on the penalty spot, but his shot is saved at point blank range and goes out for a corner. Every cross he puts in looks dangerous, and he looks forward all the time. He never wants to drop backwards. He wants to run at players. What more does it? I know he's not physical, and that's why McInnes doesn't like him, because McInnes wants physicality in all his players. But come on.
I'm kind of teetering on the edge of, I just believe that he's going to be like a future Who Am I, and you'll pose him to me, or I'll pose him to you, and the other one will go, oh well, I quite liked him. Like I wish we'd have seen more of him. That's kind of how I feel. I'm not writing him off, because I do really like him. I think he's capable. I don't know. I just don't get the feeling that he's gonna make it here, and it makes me sad, because I think he gives us something different. I think there's a wee bit of an X factor about him. I don't know. I just, yeah, it does seem a curious case. I also don't think it's, I don't think it's Harry Milne's fault with regards to the whole wide right thing because, again, maybe had Islam Chesnikov come prepared and been in a better nick, let's just say, than all our new Kazakhstan international followers on Instagram would be. They'd be looking at highlights and they'd be kind of liking, spamming the goal graphic and
There was a
commenting all their mad
specific
flags and eagles
reporter
and all
for
that.
him. There was a specific reporter for him at the press conference who asked about him. And McInnes answered him, and that was it. But he was like a reporter for, I don't know if he was from Kazakhstan, but it was someone there for Chesnikov.
There you go. So, I mean, had he been in a better nick, that would be great. But yeah, Kujota, the Harry Milne on the wide right experiment has got to die. It's got to go. Like, it serves its purpose for individual games, but if we're expected to dominate the ball and break down teams, you cannot be having a left back at right midfield. I'm sorry.
Unless you're Gareth Bale. However,
Is
from the
Harry
red
Milne the
card,
next Gareth Bale?
yes,
How confident are you that he will
extremely.
tear a Maicon equivalent up at the San Siro?
Yep, definitely. It's happening. It's happening. Get
We need,
Saba going the other way. He could be our left back.
we need a friendly in Milan.
Yeah. So, from the red card, we keep pushing. As I say, we have that Braga chance. But 90 seconds later, Claudio Braga wins a free kick in a way that only Braga does, where he just keeps going through everything. Dane Murray, who came on, who as soon as he came on, I went, right, we've got a chance here, by the way, boys. Like, here we go. He brings him down. It is
Like
swung in.
A glass eye, that.
Exactly. It's swung in by Harry Milne. It is won at the back post by substitute McEntee, who Ocean McEntee came on that park and just made us better.
I didn't even know it was him that won the header. I'm just waiting. I'm literally just waiting for somebody to direct it across goal and stab it home. But he does really well.
He does excellently well. And like a proper number 9, just on the penalty box, gets his right hip up and over the ball. Reaction. Claudio Braga nails it into the back post. And the place goes mental.
Come on, this is the finest hour. Let's go. Still time to get a winner. That was my thinking.
I like that from him. He does his Sue, but it's little, and he kind of just goes, right, let's go.
It's a C, and then he's instantly back to the centre circle.
Yeah,
brilliant reaction from him, the team. Get that ball out the net. Meet me at the centre circle. Watch the skipper and one of our most influential players just rage at the boys and tell them to get a move on in the ground. Loved the reaction from Shankland and Devlin. Fantastic. And it's there. You're thinking, right, okay, this is it. We can do this. Give us another chance. But it didn't really transpire.
Well, in the 92nd minute, we did have one last chance as Kizzy cuts in on his right foot, as he always does.
That would have been fucking incredible, can I just say. Imagine if it was him that would have nicked the winner as well, after us literally slating the previous 2 chances, and us essentially giving Celtic their medicine of countless times that they've done it to us in the past.
Yeah.
It would have been
However,
so good.
it deflects, and it lands to the feet of the other substitute, Blair Spittle, on the edge of the box, who hits a pretty fucking good effort, in fairness to him. I thought at the time that Schmeichel tipped it over the bar.
So did I. I was screaming for a corner and then it never came, and I'm like, oh, it must just cannoned off the bar.
When you see it back, it does cannon off the bar. The game ends 2 each. The squad say after it, Finlay and Braga in front of the Sky cameras, McInnes and all the post-match stuff, that generally we feel a bit disappointed, which I think is a remarkable sign of where we are right now as a squad, that we've gone 3 games against Celtic unbeaten. It's sod's law that I think the worst performance from Celtic is the one that we don't actually beat them in.
Agreed.
But just, everyone's been speaking about it. I can't remember as bad a Celtic performance at Tynecastle, or just against us generally in my life. They were time wasting from the 20th minute.
That speaks volumes. But you're right. It shows the change of mindset. And listen, I don't know who that's come from. You would like to think that it's come from the manager. I think there'll be a little bit of it from the hierarchy as well. But I mean, just a crazy transformation. Like, is this season up to now actually happened, or are we
I know.
still like slugging about in the bottom six? Like, I can't believe the transformation. That we're actually disappointed at having not beaten Celtic at Tynecastle. Like, this is wild to me. You see that we've never beaten Celtic 3 times in a league campaign before, and you're thinking
Wow, I didn't even
this
know that
this would have been the time to
to
do
do
it,
it.
but unfortunately, just not quite to be. But great character, great resilience shown by the team. We've been pegged back twice, and they've found a response. They've found a remedy. And if we can't win it, then it's just important that we don't lose it. It
I
is
said
annoying.
last week it was Operation Don't Lose.
Just don't get beat.
Yeah,
It's annoying that
absolutely.
Rangers have won, but they were always going to beat Dundee. So it's what it is. Like, we take it, we move on. If we can negate our way through these next 4 or 5, then we're in a good place for
I
sure.
think it is. A few people said it, but I think it is a marker of a result to do that without Shankland, without Benny, without Cammy, and look the better team and look in control. I said to you, I think if we had Benny and Devlin, we win that game quite comfortably, which is just mad. Like it's crazy. Now, as I say, there is a chance that we're about to preview a game that doesn't take place because we're recording this on the 27th on Tuesday.
The
The
Tuesday, and
Tuesday,
we're worried about the
yeah,
Saturday.
the Tuesday before an 8 o'clock kickoff on a Saturday. But
It's because it's on the telly that there's such a fuss being made about it as well, though, isn't there?
yeah,
And,
and
and the fact that
also
United obviously had their game postponed at the weekend.
the biblical level weather that is about to hit Dundee. I'm about to just look at it now. It is just constant, especially the Friday and Saturday. It's just basically 99% chance of rain the whole time. Um, so that might not happen, but we're going to preview it anyway because we look like idiots if we didn't do it. So, Hearts travel to Tannadice on the back of a mixed bag of results against Jim Goodwin's men this season. Obviously, the highlight being the last trip to Tannadice with a Stuart Finlay header.
Left
Two
it
of them
late. Might,
being,
might might be a wee first goal scorer shout again.
it
I'm not
might
going to do
be,
it again.
who knows.
I'm not.
Stuart Finlay got 2 headers on that day, but the last one was very much the best in terms of what it meant for the result. A 3-2 win. However, when Dundee United came to Tynecastle, it was a bit more disappointing as it was a stalemate, one each draw.
It's a
How?
remembrance fixture that we can't forget,
Yes,
ideally.
exactly. Well done.
Ironically. Yeah,
Well
thanks.
done. How do you see it going potentially this Saturday? As obviously, if it does take place, they have had an extra week of downtime, basically, to
How,
prepare for it. However, they're on a weird run of form. In the last 6, they've won 2, lost 2, drawn 2, but the 2 losses have come in their most 2 recent games.
they're a real mixed bag, United. I
Yeah.
still don't know what to make of them when we're in January.
The joint
Um,
most amount of draws in the league, by the way, with Motherwell, 10.
I, I'm really hopeful that we can avenge the draw that they picked up at Tynecastle. Is my thing. I think that even the game that we won at Tannadice, if you look back, Xander Clark started in goal and was
Yeah,
arguably at fault for both. I would feel much more confident heading up there with either Craig Gordon or Alexander Swallow between the sticks. It's just an offensive standpoint, isn't it? Because aside from Finlay, obviously Lauren Shanklin scored that day. Um, yeah, and the goal at Tynecastle, if we get lucky with the own goal from the goalkeeper that's now no longer here. So there is a bit of concern, as you say, the extra time that United will have had to prepare for this match as well. But I don't see any reason why we can't go up there and win. Definitely not. I think we have to avenge that Tynecastle draw, and I will say that Hearts will win by 2 goals to 1.
that was my exact prediction as well. 2-1.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
I'd like a
hopeful we'll
front
keep a
four.
clean sheet, but I don't know.
I'd like a front four of Mato on the left, Kajota on the right, Braga and Kabori.
That will almost certainly not happen.
Nope, I think 2 of those players will play. Braga and Capone.
Yeah.
So
And
yeah,
it'll be Kisadidis and Milne.
yeah, exactly.
Or
Absolutely will
Maybe
be.
Chesnikov if he's up to speed
Maybe,
with this crazy regime. We don't know.
exactly, maybe. But we'll see. The game might not even happen.
It might
So
not.
we'll just
So
need to wait and see.
don't know what we're going to do for next week, folks, but
No,
we'll,
we'll
we'll,
see.
we'll,
We'll see. We'll
we'll
get an
work
episode
something
out
out.
at some point. But before we go from this episode, we do have the end is near quiz. Now, you've got standard questions, two normal ones, a multiple choice and a true or false. And a who am I that I have said to you off air is someone that I feel like I would remember if we've done. And I'll say to you now, I feel like you're either going to immediately get it from just the clues or you won't get it.
I'm going to tell you what will happen. It will be the latter,
So we'll see.
but we'll find out.
However, we start with just a regular question.
Oh, fantastic.
Lawrence Shankland is the current top goal scorer against Celtic in the current Hearts squad.
Oh,
But how many goals does he have against the defending champions?
oh wow, this isn't even like a multiple
No.
choice.
I should specify, just for Hearts. Not when he was at Aberdeen or Dundee United or anything, just for Hearts.
Right, let's think about this. So he scored a hat-trick against them in a 4-3 defeat at Tynecastle. He scored at Parkhead when we won 2-0 with Stephen Kingsley. He scored again in the home fixture that season, which takes us to 5. He scored the penalty earlier this season, which is 6. Oh my god. I feel like there have to be like one or two more. Do you know what? I don't have a clue. But my dad's lucky number was 8, so I'm going to say that he's got 8 goals against Celtic McIver. I have no idea. Don't be 6. Do not be 6.
It is not 6. It's also not 8.
It's 7.
It's that little number sandwich in
Ah!
between.
I'm
As
trying
he
to
has
think of the other
7.
goal.
I also can't remember the other goal. I'm trying to find it just now, so hold on. Because yes, you're right. His first set of goals against
Was it in a
Celtic.
4-1 defeat? Consolation, no?
I don't know.
Oh.
I previously had a page that let me see it on Transfermarkt, but now it's saying no information. So
That's brilliant. Thanks,
apologies.
Appreciate that.
But
no worries, mate.
you're no
Not
getting
your
it.
fault. It's all right. Not
Oh
your fault. We move.
wait.
Oh, hello.
No.
This is great listening for our.
No, it's wonderful
audio
listening, but no,
listeners.
you got it wrong. Anyway, multiple choice question.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Cheers. Appreciate that.
Which player against Celtic made their 300th career appearance?
Ooh.
Is it A, Jamie McCart? Is it B, Stuart Finlay? Is it C, Blair Spittle? Or is it D, Marc Leonard?
300.
Yep.
There's no way it can be Marc Leonard, surely, because that would that. Well, they play a lot of games down there, don't they? Play 46 league games. 46 league games and 300. Why am I trying to do the maths? It's like 6 or 7 seasons. No, I don't. When did you say he signed that? Oh, 2018. No, because he'd have been at Brighton for a wee bit, but then loaned out to Northampton. I don't really know. Oh god, who did you say? McCart, Finlay, Spittle, or
and
McCart?
Leonard.
Sorry, Leonard.
Yeah.
I will say Jamie McCart. No idea.
He's off the mark. It is Jamie McCart.
Oh.
And I only know that because Jamie McCart on his Instagram posted 300th career appearance with photos for the game. So thank you, Jamie, for that quiz question.
Wow.
True or false? That 3 league game run is the first time in our lifetimes where Hearts have been involved in a 3-game league consecutive run where there was a red card.
Oh, that's an interesting one.
Obviously, Dundee, St Mirren, Celtic.
Is the first time ever, did you say?
The first time in our
Oh, the
lifetimes.
first time in our lifetimes. Is this a true or false?
Yes, it is a true or false.
I will say, yeah, it's weirdly specific, but it's the whole double bluff thing. I'm just gonna go true. I don't know. I don't care.
You
It's
do care.
false.
Don't lie to yourself.
It's false.
From everything I could find, it is true. I can't find another three game because
that's rare though, isn't it? 3 red
I
cards.
said it when Trusty got sent off. I turned to my dad's mates and was like, has this ever happened? That there's been 3 league games in the bounce? Now, if that's wrong, I apologise. Heart stats, get on it.
I was going to say, Scott's going to fill you up for that. Can expect a message.
I couldn't find anything that shows in our life. Now, as I say, it might happen in the 80s or the 70s or something, but in our lifetimes, I don't think it's happened.
So that's your way
We're
of saying
young.
I couldn't be bothered to go any further back.
Well, no, because I wanted to see if it was just in our life. Right.
Fair enough.
You're 2 for 3.
That's all right.
And your final question is, who scored our first goal the last time we travelled to Tannadice?
Lauren Shankland from the penalty spot, no?
You said it earlier in the preview, correct? Lauren Shankland. So, 3 for 4.
I thought that was a wee bit funny there. I could sense a little disappointment. Yeah.
It was like, oh, fuck.
And then I was like, doubting myself. I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure he did.
Yeah, he did. I promise you he did.
That white strip with the pinstripes or whatever. Yeah.
Because both Finley's headers are in the same goal in the second. They're in that.
Yeah, that's right. To equalise and then win it.
Yeah.
What a man.
Right, 3 for 4. Very commendable. And you were only 1 point off as well in the other question. Right, are you ready for
I'm trying to work out this 7th goal. I'm going to go and chase that myself, I think.
Are you ready for the Who Am I?
Yeah, let's do it.
My nationality is currently represented within the Hearts squad.
Ooh.
My Hearts highlight was scoring a last-minute cup equaliser in a semi-final. I had 2 spells at Hearts, an initial loan spell before being signed permanently, and I have only played outside my home nation in Scotland. Who am I?
Ooh. Hello.
Look at this man's Wikipedia up.
There's some intriguing clues to use. I kind of want to ask the nationality because then I'd be whittling down. Yeah, what nationality was this player, McIver? You said it was represented in the Heart squad.
This man, I was about to say he's still alive, is Icelandic.
Icelandic. I can only think of Egert Jonsson, and I'm certain we've done Egert Jonsson. I know, but what was the clue? I only played outside my homeland in Scotland.
Yeah, the only nation I played outside my homeland was Scotland.
Well, that's complete nonsense.
Was Scotland.
Because Egert Jonsson played for Fleetwood and Wolves, so let's move rapidly on. Icelandic.
Yep.
Oh my god. I can't think of any other Icelandic players for Hearts besides Egert Jonsson. That's terrible.
The other 2 clues, because the first clue and the second clue are based around Iceland. The second clue is my Hearts highlight was scoring a last-minute equaliser in a semi-final of a cup. And I had 2 spells at Hearts, an initial loan spell before being signed permanently.
I've got no clue who this is. That's shocking.
Well, another clue.
This must have been when we were nippers.
Well, another clue.
Yeah, go for it.
Whilst at Hearts, I went on loan to another Scottish club.
So wait, hold on a minute. So this guy arrived on loan, we signed him and then loaned him out?
Yeah.
Icelandic.
That's your second question up. So you've got...
Thanks, mate. Oh my god. This is horrible. I can't...
My studio's falling apart as you're failing to answer this question.
Can I get the years that they played for Hearts, McIver. Between which seasons did they play for Hearts?
Yes. You know what? I'm even going to specify it for you.
Thanks.
Between 2004 and 2005, he was on loan at us. And then 2005 to 2007, he was here permanently.
Oh my God, this is somebody I should know. Was the cup semi final? Was that against Celtic at Hampden? No.
Can't answer that. That would be a third question.
I'm kind of asking myself because I'm trying to then cast a mind back to.
I thought you would ask a question about the game because I think there will be a certain breed of people who won't know it until you ask about the specific game and go, oh, yeah.
Icelandic is really annoying me. I don't. No, I don't know who this is. I really don't. That's terrible. I'm trying to think. It must be like some guff forward. Like
A man who scored a last minute equaliser in the semi final of a cup for us.
I know, but like nothing. Nobody is hitting my brain. Do you understand? Like not
Yeah.
a single soul is coming into my head here. This is horrible. I have no clue who this is. Because even like, do you know who's a guy's in my head? He's not even Icelandic. I'm pretty sure he's Danish. Mike Tolberg is in my head. It's not even the same era. Not the same era, not the same nationality, but he's the one that's in my head. I'm gonna guess Mike Tolberg. It's not, but I've got nobody else. Literally, I can't think of this soul, whoever he is.
So, the game that you're thinking about
Don't be
was the Scottish League Cup semi final against Motherwell in February 2005. As we were 1-0 down, thanks to Mark Fitzpatrick scoring for Motherwell. However, for us, in the 85th minute, Birchall scored an equaliser for us.
Right.
And in the 90th minute, to take it to extra time, Hjalmar Thorensen scored an equaliser. And then, in the most heart of Midlothian way ever, oh, sorry, it was 2-8. We were 2-0 down. Then Mark Birchall and Thorensen scored in the final 5 minutes. But then, in the 121st minute, Mark Fitzpatrick again scored to make it 3-2. So yeah, Hjalmar Thorensen. I had never heard of this man in my life.
Fuck, because that makes me feel a heck of a lot better. No idea who this guy is.
No idea. He is a man that scored in a semi-final of a trophy we've no won in fucking centuries, it feels like. And I had no idea who existed. And I'll tell you why. Because he played for us 7 times whilst on loan. And that was when, in that loan spell, is when he did that.
Oh yeah, all 4 or 5 written off.
Displaying a combination of pace and power. This is from his Wikipedia page that I think he wrote. He impressed the Tynecastle coaching staff enough in under 21 and first team appearances to earn a permanent contract in May 2005. Next line. However, an influx of established international forwards in the summer of 2005, namely Edgaras Jankowskis and Roman Bednar, ensured Thorensen never played for the club again. We signed him permanently, and he never played.
We really were a basket case in the noughties, weren't we? We really were. Noughties in kind of early 2010s. What a time to be alive.
Do you want to guess the Scottish club he went on loan to at us? He played 11 games, scored twice.
Dunfermline are in my head, but
oh my God, you're just the wrong side of the Fife divide.
Wraith Rovers?
Wraith Rovers. That's mad that you pulled that out your arse. Fair play.
If it wasn't Fife, I was going to go Angus region. I don't know why. Just would fuck him off to Forfar or something.
But yeah, Hjalmar Thorensen.
Never heard of you, mate.
You're a da. But thank you for the goal in a semi-final at Hampden that
Oh yeah,
meant nothing.
yeah, for the goal in the semi-final defeat. Yeah, greatly appreciated.
Yeah. Well,
Cheers.
if you remember Therance, if you were there celebrating his goal, let us know because we fucking won. We were 8 and 7 respectively, so we were not there. Let us know, and if you did enjoy this episode, also let us know on your podcast platform of choice by leaving us a review. Massively helps us out. If you've been watching us on YouTube, please have a like, comment, and subscribe. Perth to Paisley on all the socials. Perth to Paisley at gmail.com if you want to fire us over an email. Adam, where can they get you on all the socials?
You can find me on my trip to Reykjavik on all my socials at Kendall's Column.
He literally played, we sent him on loan in 2006 to Fram Reykjavik, who he then signed permanently for and spent 5 years at playing over 100 games.
Complete and utter waste of everybody's time.
Brilliant. So, fair play to him. His current team is Nats Pimrinophilago Bersikshire. I don't think so, because he's 39, and the last time it says is 2012, but it still says current team. Yeah, no idea. But we'll be back at some point.
Hopefully to talk about a trip to Paradise.
Yeah, but depending on what happens with that, we'll be back at some point, right? So here's hoping
on the socials.
Yeah, here's hoping we get a game to talk about this weekend, but if not, we'll see you at some point. Until then, thank you very much for listening. Bye-bye.